Drivin Ivan here with the all-new 2020 Corvette right behind me. I'm going to show you all the exotic and cool cars here at the 2020 Washington, D.C. Auto Show. Let's get started. All right, let's get it started with the 2020 all-new mid-engine Corvette. I like the blue interior. Note, it has blue on blue, and that's pretty cool. Liking the new Corvette in the general shape. Progress, things had to move on, and it's a huge paradigm shift for Corvette. They got all the speed they finally could get out of it with the traction, because traction is extremely limited when you have the engine in front driving the back wheels. Now it's just like all of the other exotic cars out there. Now, you know, of course, I'm a fan of sports cars and cars in general, and I have a C3 Corvette. Check out my review of that elsewhere on YouTube. And that, of course, is the traditional American big engine, big V8, rear-wheel drive, oversteer, screaming tires all the time. Well, it's pretty cool to see the progress, though. I think it was time for a change, and you know, 1953 to now is a long time, and they've got the video of the car back there, which is pretty cool. But I like the look of it. Let's go ahead and check it out from the back as well. And it's attracting a lot of attention. But there you go. Great looking from all angles, I think. The 2020 Chevy Corvette, now mid-engine for the new decade and the future. This, a beautiful 1968 365 GTC touring car. Basically, it's a 2+2. Ferrari had a market for people that wanted to perhaps be able to take their kids. This one does not have the rear seats installed. Looks like it has the luggage rack option, but it does have that beautiful large GT steering wheel, wood trim, and of course a 5-speed manual. Beautiful blue leather seats on this one with a light blue, and the combination is really quite stunning. I think this is what the pinnacle of a touring car would have been in 1968. Nothing better than this. You got the knockoff wheels, and just beautiful shape all around. And if you notice the badge on the side here, of course, you have styling by Pininfarina. Yes, sir. A lot of cars from the 60s had the Borani wire wheels, but these look really good with the racing knockoff wheels. And speaking of racing, Ferrari's 40th anniversary car, the F40, the last car to be built under Enzo Ferrari's watch. And yeah, it was incredibly fast, and you needed to know how to drive it because there were no driver's aids whatsoever. The famous H-gate Ferrari shifter, but very minimalistic interior, even carbon engine cover. And this was all there was in the late 80s. This was a true supercar, and no sacrifices whatsoever. A true 200-mile-an-hour car, and you can see 30 years of Ferraris, basically innovation. Moving on to a couple more Ferraris here. This one, if it has racing stripes on it on a Ferrari, it's usually a Stradale racing version. And yeah, another beautiful blue with a red interior. Man, they got it looking really nice. I love these front engine 12-cylinder Ferraris. Just really traditional, much as this 365 here. Yes, carrying on that tradition. It's nice that they have these two together, actually. Looks like fitted luggage back there, or maybe that's just a shelf. Let's see if I can see from the front. This one, not a manual. Pretty hard to see. Shelf back there. Testarossa, meaning redhead. Notice Testarossa is one word here. Back in the late 50s, they had the pontoon fendered and non-pontoon fendered Ferrari Testarossa. And that was two words, Testa and Rossa. What does that mean? Well, it means redhead. The Ferrari engine has red heads, and so they called them Testarossa. And there you go. This one is mid-80s, probably like 1984, 85 Testarossa. They came out with a 512 TR a little later, and I think the look got a little better. It was very controversial here with the cheese grater sides. And there you have it. On to the Mclaren here. So this basically is a supercar of the day, and it's basically driving you, whereas this F40, you have to know how to drive it. So big difference. Yes, these are faster, but not much. And they're basically driving you. So it's a totally different driving feel. The speed in this Aston Martin is going to feel a little bit like the speed in this McLaren. Check out my review of any exotic car. Just Google Drivin Ivan and your favorite car, and you'll see it on YouTube. And let's take a walk around this one. Astons, of course, have a style of their own, and with that whole James Bond tradition, and even, you know, hey, the Beatles were driving these things back in the day too, you know? Every star wanted to have one of these. So this is the right color too. Aston Martin. Wow. Nice long car here. Because you do have two little seats back there, if you can believe it. Let's see about this one. Do they bother? Looks like just a shelf back there in that one. So there you go. And you can see the difference in length of these two cars. Much shorter here, and then this one with the 2+2 configuration. A bit longer. Bentley Bentayga, which I have reviewed. Just Google Drivin Ivan and Bentley Bentayga, and you'll see my review of this one. Really nice. Very luxurious inside. The Bentley stitching, of course, on the seats. I like the light leather. Even the side cards have it. Bentley looks like a Continental GT. I have reviewed the Mulsanne Speed. Check that out elsewhere on YouTube. And also cars like the Rolls-Royce Wraith. You can see those elsewhere on YouTube as well. And continuing on. Yep, this one the speedier McLaren, and a bit larger too, to accommodate the larger engine and things like that. So here you have a Lamborghini Garrus, the SUV, newly released. Let's check out its interior versus the Bentleys. Still some cool stitching, and very Lamborghini-like. For instance, let's go over to this one, and you can see that there are some similarities in the interior. This one a bit more sporting, of course, because, well, hey, it's an exotic. And this one is all about luxury. There you go. Really, really special car coming up right here, the Rolls-Royce SUV. And if you've been lucky enough to drive a Rolls-Royce, you'll know. Similar to my Citroen, I have a Citroen CX Wagon. Check that out elsewhere on YouTube. It has the air ride suspension, as does Rolls-Royce, and it also has a very cool headliner up here, where you look up and you can see the stars. Trust me, it's there. Gotta have the car on now. But suicide doors, which were kind of outmoded and considered just too dangerous, but now they've engineered a way to have them again, and so you're back to that beautiful history of suicide doors in luxury cars. But this is just a really, really beautiful car, and the steering wheel feels like butter. I think the closest car that you can get to a Rolls-Royce for normal cars out there is probably a Lexus LS, or perhaps, you know, the Hyundai, now Genesis G90, or the Kia K900. Check out my review of those cars elsewhere on YouTube. But yeah, isn't this what it's all about? The Rolls-Royce grill. It's all about the Rolls-Royce grill. So there you go, the exotic cars here at the 2020 Washington, D.C. Auto Show. And if you'd like to see any of these cars, just Google Drivin Ivan Rolls-Royce or Drivin Ivan Ferrari, and you will see my reviews of some of these cars. All right, now I'm in the art room. Matt Long is getting ready to paint this Kia Soul with a winter sort of theme. That should be cool. There's his artwork there. Check him out if you're interested. If you want to see the final car, pretty cool. If you want to see a Kia Soul review, just Google Drivin Ivan and Kia Soul. Here's Audi's own interpretation of an art car. My favorite art car is Warhol's BMW M1, I believe it was. Totally cool. But I like the tradition of the art and how they're carrying it over. Here's sort of a high low rider with these huge wheels. Man, what are they, like 24s? I have no idea. They're probably, no, they're bigger than 24. Jeez. Wow. Pretty cool. Camaro, resto modded. Nice convertible here. Very cool. Take you around this one, see it in detail. Why not? Look at that, custom steering wheel. Everything else looks pretty stock except for that speaker, of course. But it's a Caprice, classic Chevy Caprice, and they've done a nice job of customizing it. A pink M4, oh yeah. I think pink cars are cool as hell. I have a pink Citroen CX wagon. You can see that review elsewhere on YouTube. And lots of these cars. Just Google Drivin Ivan Camaro or any car, like I said, Jeep as well. But really cool. I think I might have seen this one on the road somewhere. Oh, it has a similar look, actually. But these are bagged, dropped, and pretty custom cool. Of course, there's lots of people that love those type of cars out there too. I think they're cool as well. So there you go. The DC Auto Show for 2020 has it all. Rev Nation. S2000, pretty cool. Some more of the art cars that are going to be painted. And looks like a Supra is going to get a paint job as well. Even custom motorcycles in the middle. Check out my review of the Hellcat elsewhere on YouTube as well as the Trackhawk Jeep. All right, the Toyota Supra. Pretty cool from this angle, I think. You can see a little bit of family resemblance to the 90s version, even though, of course, it's based on the BMW Z4. Still, you can see it. Let's go around to the front. Check it out from that angle. And cue everybody to walk by, of course. But front three-quarter view is nice. And there you have it. Let's go on inside as well. See the interior. And look, there you go. So Toyota had their own take on the exterior. Also, of course, the running gear, so it is not identical to the BMW Z4. They have their own spin on everything, which is important. And hey, it's good that the Supra's back. We'll take it any way we can get it. It looks really cool out on the road. You can tell it's definitely very sporty, smaller than most cars that you see these days, which is a good thing. And I'm glad to see cars like this still being built, because more and more we're being taken over by computer-aided control. And even though this still is, at least it does offer a lot of driver input, and it doesn't totally take over for you. Check out my full Drivin Ivan review of the Toyota 86 Scion FRS, as it was formerly known as well, and also the Subaru BRZ elsewhere on YouTube. One of the stars of the 2020 Auto Show, the Ford Mustang Mach-E, their new electric SUV. Pretty cool from the back here, because look, it's got the whole Mustang look. This one, the GT. Very cool, but it looks like a Mustang front and rear. And Of course, it's an SUV, America's best-selling segment, all electric. So Ford is really going after a very huge audience with this car, and yeah, I think they're going to be successful because Americans love their SUVs and Americans love the Mustang. Check out my review of the 5.0 Mustang elsewhere on YouTube. Well, I'm sad to see Fiat's display is shrinking a little, but I'm happy to see the Fiat 500C. I just got one of these myself, 2012 model, that happened to be Charlie Sheen's actual car. More on that elsewhere in a video on YouTube. Coming soon. I don't have that video posted yet, so don't look for it yet. And the 124 Spider. Check out my review of this one elsewhere on YouTube. And I just spent a lot of time in the Fiat 500L in Florida giving it a full review, so check out my review of that one. But hey, good to see Fiat still here in America and at the 2020 Auto Show. So Fiat Chrysler Automotive, of course, encompassing all of these fine brands. Nice that they're all grouped together. And there are the fast ones here too, as well. Good to see them. The Hemi-equipped Durango, black top RT. Yeah, lots of quick versions of these cars today. The Charger GT, also Hemi-equipped, and this one, the RT 392 Scat Pack wide body. Very cool. Like I said, check out my review of the Hellcat elsewhere on YouTube, and you can even find my review of the Jeep Gladiator elsewhere on YouTube as well. And here we go, the Porsche Taycan. Do you think Tesla is sweating in their boots? I think they probably are a little bit, because what you have here is a electric vehicle that's just as desirable as the Model S. Porsche, there is no substitute. My avid viewers will know I'm a big fan. I have, what do I currently have? 4 Porsches. I have a newly acquired Boxster, I have a 996, I have an 82 Targa, and I have a 1978 928 5-speed. Check those reviews out elsewhere on YouTube. But this one starts at just over $100,000, and they go on up to about $180,000. They have about 250 miles of range, 250 right in that area. But it's all Porsche. You get the drilled rotors, and you get the Porsche speed. The fastest one is 0 to 60 in the 2s, and it's got a large screen in the middle, so you can see they're squarely going after the Tesla Model S here, and I think they've got a looker. It is a Porsche through and through, and yeah, this is the Taycan Turbo S. I think it's the top of the line, so this is second from the top, but it's going to be about 150 plus this one. So there you go. Looks like Porsche did their homework, and yeah, it's a dart thrown straight at the Tesla Model S, and I think it's a really, really cool car in terms of its looks, and of course in terms of its technology. These things I think are going to sell like hotcakes because, well, after all, this is going to be the Porsche of electric vehicles, and that to me is a great thing. Porsche has to move forward. I think the most important car for people like me is going to be when they release an electric 911. That to me is the quintessential 911. I do have a Boxster now, and I have the 928, but I have 2 911s. I think it is the Porsche. But again, it's cars like this that are going to bring Porsche into the future and make sure that they can still build the 911 for enthusiasts like me. So there you go. The brand new Porsche Taycan. Hey, check it out. It's a new Karma. That's right. It's a Karma Rivero GT. Karma took over from Fisker with the Fisker Karma, and now it's just Karma. They're making these electric cars very sleek, very modern, and they've stepped away from the prior name, and now they have the Rivero GT. So there you go. Not sure about the specs because they don't really say too much about it, but let's take a look at the interior. Sleek, cool, maybe Jag-like in terms of its mix of wood and leather, but the shape is definitely beautiful. Karma Rivero GT. These are the finalists, by the way, for the green car of the year. You have Land Rover here. You have BMW, their 740. The Taycan, of course. And let's see what we got here. Lincoln, really cool. Got to see my review of the Lincoln Navigator. I do a really nice, if I don't say so myself, imitation of Matthew McConaughey. You really must see that. Anyway, but this is the BMW of electrics. And as usual, they have a couple of Cadillacs out here. This one, 1990 Cadillac Brougham. Fooled me, I thought it was 80s. Basically 80s styling, taken up a notch into 1990. And this one, a bit earlier. Very cool. See the contrast of Cadillac design throughout the years. This area contains a disease for which modern man has no cure. Car collecting. That's true. If you'd like to know what Drivin Ivan actually drives, well, just Google what does Drivin Ivan drive, and you'll have my complete collection. Minus about 5 vehicles, which I just bought in Florida. But you can see those reviews coming on YouTube as we speak. Just check out my newest car reviews. The 2020 Mirai prototype. Here's all the interesting specs on it. Protects the driver, 312 miles of range. Hydrogen is domestically and locally sourced. So it's one of Toyota's forward-looking hydrogen-powered vehicles. Here's the Prius. I'm one of the few car guys that likes the Prius. Check out my review of the Prius. I actually have 2 Priuses. Or is it Prii? Who knows? Anyway, check out those reviews elsewhere on YouTube. Zero emissions battery electric from Toyota. LQ. Pretty cool. Reminds me of one of those old school over-the-top 70s prototypes. But really cool, actually, in this case. Volkswagen has some pretty cool products this year, and they're also very proud of the fact that many of their cars are built in Tennessee. And I'm proud too. It's nice that they're building these cars engineered in Germany, but built in Tennessee. Right here in the good old USA. And here you have the sporting Volkswagens, the GLI, Jetta GLI, and GTI. Great front wheel drive and excellent handling. Really sporty hatchback. I'm a big fan because I actually have a Lancia Delta Integrale, which has some cool interior too. But they have sort of the Madras seating of the 80s, echoing the past in this modern version with the dual clutch. And I'm telling you, the dual clutch is great. Check out my reviews of the GTI and the GLI elsewhere on YouTube. Great cars. Right next to the Stinger, you have the Stinger driver's experience. It's pretty cool, actually. Pretty realistic, although they kind of give you the line to drive, and even if you're driving the line, you actually can lose control of the car. So actually, I think driving on the track is easier. If you'd like to see my track review of some cars, check out the Scion FRS, now the Toyota 86, and also, what else do I have? The Lexus IS and the Lexus RC, which is pretty cool. I have a V6 versus V8 split lap time in my review of that one, so check that out elsewhere on YouTube. But the Stinger is basically Kia's response to other sports sedans out there. I've reviewed lots of Kias. Just Google Drivin Ivan and Kia if you'd like to see those reviews. But this is about $33,000 to $50,000 depending on how you equip it. Here we are at Camp Jeep, and you can watch these Jeeps perform as they should. Very nice. Camp Jeep. Maybe the van's making a comeback with the Chevy Explorer. Pretty cool. Looks like Can-Am's got a cool setup here. Coleman Power Sport, Vanderhall, Carmel, Pretty cool. Slinger GT, they're all here. Well, I think Nissan has a new Z car coming out, but it's not here. Nissan Kicks. So they're big on the SUVs for this 2020 DC car show. A lot of manufacturers are showing off the fact that they're made in America, and this one, Miata, see what we made in Alabama. That's pretty cool. There's the fixed roof version right here, getting a dusting off. A lot of people here to keep these car shows looking very clean. Pink Mustang is out in full force. In fact, a lot of Mustangs. I'll take you all around. You can see them all. Check it out. Really cool. Can't really see the engines from this angle, but I'll go on the other side, don't worry. Here we go. The progression of the Mustang. GT 350. Jim Morrison got a similar car from his record company when the Doors sold like 1 million copies. Pretty cool. And this one's like my uncle's, probably around a 66. That's a 65, it says. The Mach 1 Mustang. This one was a Matchbox car, and I love Matchbox cars. 72 Mach 1. 69 Mach 1. SVT. Special Vehicle Team. And that's a Cobra. There's a Fox body from the 80s. 5.0 GT. And this one, what I consider the Charlie's Angels car, although this is a Cobra version, but this is the car that they drove on Charlie's Angels because Ford paid them to. That's pretty cool. The Boss. 429 Boss Mustang. The Mac Daddy of them all. 1970. And the last row. Modern Mustangs. GT 500. Yeah. Super Snake. Pretty cool. I have a Dodge Shelby Cobra pickup truck. If you'd like to see my Shelby, it's actually a convertible too, just like this one. Convertible pickup truck. Check it out elsewhere on YouTube. They've even got Army vehicles out here. They got everything. Pretty cool. Hyundai Veloster. And this is the sport version. Very cool. And actually the winner of Road and Track's Sports Car of the Year, which is kind of cool. Performance Car of the Year, they call it. Love the color too, that light blue. Awesome. Barn Find 1968 912 Coupe in Tangerine. That is 4-cylinder 911. Here we have a 6 911, the 1977 911S. Targa, of course, Irish green with a really glorious brown interior there. I'm a big fan of the Targa because I have one, my 82 Targa. Check that out in my I Bought the Cheapest 911 video elsewhere on YouTube. And of course, don't forget to check out my I Bought the Cheapest Jag video as well. Cayman. An old 928. I have one of these too. Check out my review of either the automatic from the 80s like this one or my 78 5-speed. Whichever you'd like to see. 911 turbo here. 996. Looks to be a turbo here too. Another Cayman. And lastly but not leastly, of course, there's a GT4 Cayman. Check out my review of that and all the modern Porsches on the track elsewhere on YouTube. 1.8 liter, 914, probably right around early 70s. Super Sport, that's a darn nice Chevrolet right there. And on down the line. And the Lost Mustang over here too. This thing is really cool. Yeah. Totally resto modded custom. Awesome. Looks like Land Rover is re-releasing the Defender. That is going to be good news to a lot of Land Rover enthusiasts. Very cool. Looks retro, but yet super modern. That's what you want in your Land Rover Defender. They've got a lot of history to contend with, and it looks like they're doing a good job. Love the color too. There you have it. F-Type Jaguar. Jag's got a nice display here. No sport wagon this year, or whatever they call that thing. But Drivin Ivan has 2 Jags. Check them out. Have an X-Type Estate and also an XJR. And also look for my Jaguar reviews elsewhere on YouTube. All right, I'm in, what am I in? An I-Pace?
I-Pace.
Jaguar with, what's your name?
Paul. Edwards.
Paul's taking me in.
Oh, yeah.
What are we doing? Accelerating?
He's got evidence already.
Are we accelerating fast?
Yeah, we're going to accelerate here. You ready for it?
Awesome. Let's boogie. Yeah. A little bit of oversteer, corrected with some throttle. 0 to 60 in 4.5. Little G-turn for me? Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Almost a G-turn. All right. Cool. This will be fun for the public. It's not used to losing traction.
Here we go.
I try to lose traction every time I drive. Oh, nice grip. Beautiful. Beautiful. Very nice. You don't want to get that. Woo, that makes your stomach drop out. That is awesome, kids. You definitely want to try this. That does not transcribe to video very well, but trust me, your stomach drops off them. Very nice job, sir. Excellent driving.
Ivan,
you should do this for a living. There you go. I didn't see Alfa Romeo near the Fiat Chrysler display. I was a little worried, but here they are down by Maserati. The Giulia and the Stelvio. I reviewed both, so check out my reviews elsewhere on YouTube for my full reviews. But yes, lovely cars, and I'm glad they're still hanging on in the US. Maserati. Excellent cars. Also clinging to the US market. Good to see the Levant here. SUV. And Quattroporte, I imagine. Let's go check in the back. Let's see. Yes, sir. It's SQ4, meaning all-wheel drive. And yeah, so nice to see Maserati and Alfa here. And here we have Genesis. It's a 2020 G90, the top of the line. Going for that Bentley bling, it looks like. Bentley type interior. This is really nice. I like the finish on this one. Excellent look. But there you go. Hyundai's new top of the line Genesis. I've always liked Infinitis. Styling has progressed over the years. And, similar to BMW's C-pillar treatment a little bit. Hofmeister Kink, I believe they call it. So it looks like they're taking a styling cue from BMW a bit back there. But still purely Infiniti, a great look. Count on Volvo to keep a wagon around, and this one is electric. It's pretty cool. Let's check it out. V60. And yeah, Polestar too, so it's a performance division. Nice. And again, they're advertising that their vehicles are made in America. In this case, South Carolina. So the ATS is having production ceased in favor of this one here, the CT5V, which is the performance model. Yes, I reviewed the Ctsv Wagon 6-speed manual back in the day. Check out my review of that one. But I also took my driver's test in a 1970 Cadillac Coupe Deville convertible, turquoise with white. And man, I've loved Cadillacs forever, and they've evolved over the years. They're different cars than they were in the 70s, different image, but still fine luxury automobiles. And in this case, very quick too. Acura is highlighting their racing, which is cool to see. NSX GT3 Evo alongside the regular NSX. I have done a full review on the NSX, so check that out elsewhere on YouTube. Just Google Drivin Ivan in Acura NSX. Lexus LC 500, very cool. And the F Sport version of the GS. Here we see the Lexus UX 250H Surf Wagon. And a red interior inside. Nice. To Charlie. Enjoy. Your friend, Carroll Shelby. I've actually gotten Carroll Shelby's signature before on a picture. It's hard to get his signature later in his life because, well, he had a handler with him all the time and his vision was not all that great. But he was still signing cars. I can tell you this is not the original Cobra Daytona because I've seen the original car. Check out that video elsewhere on YouTube with an interview with Pete Brock that I shot in front of the car. But that car actually is very imperfect. It's hammered aluminum, basically. You could tell that they put it together by hand, and it's got some markings all over it. But this one is a cool replica of that car. Very, very nice to see it here. Along with the Ferrari 512 Berlinetta Boxer. Ford versus Ferrari here. Got the GT40 replica in its Gulf livery. Very cool. A beautiful, beautiful Ferrari 308 GTB. This is the hardtop version, unlike Magnums, where you could take the top off. In fact, he needed to take the top off because he was too tall. You never saw him shoot with the top on. Lamborghini Countach. And you can see I'm a fan because I have it on my shirt. But anyway, there you go, the Lamborghini Countach Quattro valve. What a lovely car it is. You can see a lot of Ferrari influence there. Of course, Lamborghini was a tractor maker, kind of like John Deere in America. And, you know, he was an industrialist. He was someone who had wineries, vineyards, and he was a businessman. And he told Ferrari what he thought of his car. And he didn't like something about the transmission, I believe. And so Enzo told him to stick to building tractors, and he got pissed off, and he went and built his cars, starting with the 450, actually the 350 GT, and then the 400 GT. And so there, the rest is history. And here you go with the Miura, the first exotic supercar, really. Transverse mounted 12-cylinder, like the Countach. Countach is a dialect in Italy that basically means holy crap, because that's what the people in the factory that saw it, the first clay mock-up, said when they saw it. They were just astounded. And they said, Countach! And there you go, the rest is history. So the Miura came first. You have a racing 355 Ferrari on down the line, 360s. And look, as if one wasn't enough, another Countach. Let's see what we got elsewhere. Mclaren, Rolls-Royce. Yeah.
Of what, upstairs?
Bentley. Bentley Bentayga, which I've reviewed. Check that out elsewhere on YouTube. Bentley Convertible. And a couple of Aston Martins to finish it off. Let's take a look at the back of these because they look good from the back too. 308 GTB, as I said. This is a really lovely color. You don't see them in light blue too much. Not a GTB like this. This is a performance edition. Very, very cool. Countach. That's the Quattro valve. That's the one you want, in my opinion. I don't know. The side strakes are a little bit much. Maybe you want the one down at the end here, but Miura. A lot of Lamborghinis are named after famous bulls, much like Maseratis are named after winds, like the Mistral. So there you go. Yeah, this is the one you want right here. The Countach 5000 Quattro valve without the silly side skirts. Yeah, this one's good. Although the gold wheels in the black do look exceptional. And there you have it, the 2020 Washington, D.C. Auto Show. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Check out all of my other car videos on YouTube. Just Google Drivin Ivan and the car you're looking for. Check out my disc golf videos, music videos, documentaries, literal video for Chris Isaac's Wicked Game. And once again, thanks for watching. I'm Drivin Ivan.